Well, Gary, you were clearly bitterly disappointed after the game at Welling.
Yeah, that was disappointing because I thought for the first time, given what we faced up to, the lads weren't really as they should have been in terms of the level of performance, and there's lots of reasons for that, but just disappointing all round that it turned out like it did at Welling.
There must be an enormous frustration for any manager, really. You work hard with them on the training ground all week and then it just doesn't happen on the weekend.
Yeah, I think probably in hindsight, looking back, when you look at the amount of youngsters in the team, and we picked up a couple of injuries on the day, which happened to be experienced players as well, so it was very much a team of young lads at the end, and with them sort of been playing quite a little bit recently, it was a little bit too much for them, I think.
I also think it's difficult for managers. You have to come out and do an interview almost in the heat of the moment afterwards. With hindsight, perhaps wasn't it quite as bad as you thought?
I just think you've always got that passion that you want to be winning and doing well, whatever circumstances confront you. And I just thought, after certainly straight afterwards, it was a little bit raw, but that's gone now, and there are things to take into consideration. So maybe, it was probably a little bit harsh in some cases, but we need to make sure we make up for that this Saturday against Barnet.
Well, last home league game, and you couldn't have a better one, really.
No, great to be in a position where you're playing a team like Barnet who've got a chance of the league, and there's a lot on it for the game and for our lads as well. So that's good, and like I say, we probably need a little bit more experience in the ranks this week, and give the young lads, or some of the young lads, a bit of a breather.
You'll be able to make not quite a direct comparison, but pretty close between Bristol Rovers and Barnet, given the fact you played Bristol Rovers recently.
Yeah, so that would be good to sort of look at them and compare them. I think obviously Bristol Rovers are probably, just a little bit behind in terms of the league, but I still think it could go either way.
You could put a major dent in Barnet's hopes.
Yeah, we could. We tried to do that, in all honesty, against Bristol Rovers. So, we'll certainly be trying to do the same again this week. And, they're a big, strong, powerful side. And in John Akindi, they've got a massive player who's proved that time and time again this season.
I was going to mention him. I mean, if there is going to be a player of the season in the conference, he's got to be right up there, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think he's in that position. He's head and shoulders, again, not being disrespectful, above anybody else in the league. And I think the goals that he's got, his way out there in front with his goals, and that's obviously been a big factor in Barnet's position at the top of the table.
The league doesn't lie at this stage of the season in particular, but has it surprised you that Barnet have stuck the course? They haven't got the resources that Bristol Rovers have got.
No, perhaps not, but when you look at the squad they've got, and obviously the manager, he's very experienced, and he's kept them together, and it doesn't surprise me when you look at their squad. Probably not the strength in depth of Bristol Rovers, but certainly, the lad we mentioned in Akindi has been, a revelation for them this season.
You've alluded to this, but you might make a few changes by the sound of things. A few older heads.
Yeah, I think we need to. The game, what's on the game, and we need to be fair to some of the younger lads who have been coming in and putting a real good shift in. So, we need to freshen things up, and we are in a position this week with one or two coming back that we can do that. So that's a big positive.
Of course, we've spoken about Barnet, but you could do with a win, really.
Yeah, we could. I think the fans have suffered. We've all probably, supporters, players, whatever, have really had a bellyful this season of problems. So it'd be nice to send them off, into the close season, the last home game with a good performance and hopefully a good result. Injury-wise,
how are you looking?
Yeah, Callum Gittins, he's a non-starter with the injury picked up at Welling. James Fry, unfortunately, he's out for the season now with his ankle injury that he picked up at Welling. But on the back of that, there's Jack Byrne coming back. Obviously, Craig Reid had a good run out last week after a long time out, so probably evens itself up a little bit.
What's Callum done?
Yeah, Callum has picked up a little groin injury, a little bit of a niggle, so obviously be unwise to push him forward this week.
That's all on the field. It'd be nice to talk about on the field stuff. Actually, off the field, of course, news this week. A new chairman.
Yeah, all change, and obviously that's come from the shareholders, and you can't argue with them in terms of they've obviously got the best interests of the club at heart. And Rod, obviously I've got a relationship with him in terms of football, but I also know he's a hard-working, successful businessman who won't pull any punches, and I'm sure he'll put things in place which will make the club better moving forward.
A period of stability is required, really.
Certainly is, which is unusual for Kidderminster because it's pretty stable, or has been definitely over the years that I've known it. So yeah, it's been a long, tough 3 seasons in one, if you like, and I'm sure, like I say, we'd like to get to the end of it for everybody concerned, and good to know that Rod, can start moving forward and, like you say, try and add a bit of composure and a bit of stability to the surroundings.
You have known him a long time. What sort of a character is he in terms of having to run a football club?
Yeah, I don't think he's turned around 3 very successful, stalling businesses into 3 very successful ones. So that speaks volumes for him. I know he's very hard working, and I know he's the type of guy who, if he doesn't think he can make a difference or improve things, he wouldn't be hanging around. So, I'm sure he'll get his teeth into it, and he'll get stuck in, and at this moment in time, like you say, try and add a bit of stability around the place.
Final point, the other announcement that came out this week, of course, which must bring peace of mind to everybody, is that the shareholders and the board have said, the financial obligations will be honoured for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, that's good, because not only, I think what that says, not just this season, which is important, but moving forward, I think what they didn't want to get into a situation where you're dragging money forward, i.e. season ticket sales and stuff like that, and I don't think that's fair on the supporters to do that, to pay sort of old debt, and that's a big positive, that we know that all the money coming in now, the income can be used in a positive way moving forward.